massive win last night, Stamford Bridge, under the lights, and Chelsea keep the Champions League dream alive thanks to Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo, plus a host of other top-class performances. Right now, I've got 5 things to break down after yesterday's win, what made last night's performances so big, and what this means for us going forward. So you guys know what to do, man. Hit that like button, let's try and get 1,500 likes, and let's get straight into things. For the first thing we learned is Malo Gusto finally starting to understand the inverted role. I feel like I wanted to start things off by focusing on the low-key performance in last night's win, and for me, that was Malo Gusto. I just noticed this guy's dynamism within our own half, and especially in Spurs' half, and I saw this level of comfortability, a level of impact, a level of threat that I haven't normally seen from Gusto playing the same way. And it got me thinking, is Malo Gusto finally starting to clock the inverted role, or has Maresca tweaked the inverted role to suit Malo Gusto? Because for myself, it felt like I was seeing Malo Gusto playing the right back role with inverted duties compared to playing that vice versa. And I think this is kind of reflected in Malo's heat maps yesterday, because there's so many red zone concentrations in like central parts and out wide in this heat map. Massive involvement down the entirety of that right flank. And let's not even forget that as the game was coming to an end for the final 25 minutes, Gusto was playing on the left. In terms of his stats, 5 clearances, 3 out of 4 ground duels won, 1 tackle, 1 interception, 1 block, 2 key passes, and a lot of touches on the ball. Even more than Moises Caicedo, as he played 47 out of 53 passes. It was an all-action performance, but most importantly, it was very dynamic, it was very tactical, and Malo Gusto was just constantly plugging these overloads at the right time to help us play through Spurs. There was this great tactical tweak that Maresca implemented involving Gusto and Enzo Fernandez, and this was used to kind of bait the Spurs press to allow free runs in behind their midfield. And it kind of worked like this. You notice quite a lot, especially in that second half, Enzo Fernandez would drop wider to receive the ball in those lateral spaces. Malo Gusto would be closer towards Moises Caicedo in particular phases of our game. And as Enzo Fernandez dropped wider to receive, Gusto would play first touch, play it to Moises, and then he'd make that run in behind Spurs' midfield lines. And I say particular phases because there was many a time where Gusto was receiving in his traditional right back role. There was many times he was inverted in that midfield alongside Caicedo, and once he played those balls and was allowed to get into Spurs' half, you would notice that Gusto a lot of times was doubling up with our winger down that side. For myself, that was a breath of fresh air, because I've been really tired of seeing our wingers constantly getting 2v1s in most games where they're forced to play passes backwards. This felt like the most complementary way to use the best qualities of the players you have, whilst also boosting the quality of the team overall. And playing this way, I just felt like Gusto looked very confident. He looked very comfortable. You know, that fluidity that you can get when you're using the inverted fullbacks properly. I think it's even better when these guys have a more hybrid role where it's not like a strict inverted role where they're solely playing as midfield players. How many times have we seen Gusto receiving in the pockets and he's like taking shots with his left foot? I never want to see Gusto there. And compare that to yesterday, where the few times Gusto arrived in the spaces in the pockets, he was putting in crosses from those areas. He wasn't looking to be making runs inside the box. And I prefer that. If he's coming inside, it's to play crosses. When he's further out wide, it's to make that overlap or to make that underlapping run. I think this is the way you use someone like Malo Gusto. Hopefully this continues, as he could give us a massive tactical advantage going near the end of this season. The second thing we learned is, it's safe to say Moises Caicedo is the best DM in Europe. Last night, Caicedo absolutely stole the show in midfield and really announced himself as one of the premium talents in Europe. And the performance was so good, as most of his performances have consistently been this season, that it's a reminder that someone this talented should be playing in Europe next season. It really is that simple. Caicedo literally set the tempo of our midfield and the tempo in which we played as a team. And that's what I love about Moises, man. He's got this like extraordinary ability to be able to swing momentum our way by making the key crucial tackle at the right time. He's controlled, he's aggressive, he's winning the ball back, and he's kickstarting moves. Stats wise, man, he won 8 out of 9 ground duels, 37 out of 41 passes played, 90% accuracy, 4 tackles won, the most out of any outfield player on the pitch, 5 out of 5 long balls played. Now, he isn't someone that just simply wins tackles and plays a short save pass. This is someone that is looking to kickstart a move and speed attacks up. He was regularly playing balls over the top to try and find Nico, and he was regularly using his switch ball ability to quickly just isolate and find our wingers 1v1 against Spurs' fullbacks. And the most frustrating thing is, what would have absolutely topped his performance off and taken it to a higher level was if that unreal goal that he scored that would have made it 2-0 if the referee did not overrule that due to offsides. And I'm sorry, even looking at the VAR lines, it's like a very thick line. When does it actually start from? This is what I was getting really confused by. The fact it took 5 minutes to decide whether this was onside or offside. Personally, I think if it's taking you that long, give the advantage to the offensive player, because that goal you scored from the rebounds was like a much better goal than the equaliser he scored against Man United at Old Trafford. And honestly, he deserved that after the performance that he put in last night. Maresca said this about Moises last night. Moises Caicedo was so humble, so kind, so good. He's one of the best, if not the best, defensive midfielder in the world right now. The best thing about Moises is that every day he's working very seriously. He is an example. As Chelsea fans, we've been blessed to see some amazing all-action midfield players for our club over the years. You're looking at your Nicolas, you're looking at your Nicolas, you're looking at most recently an N'Golo Kante, and it really feels like we are continuing this trend of signing this similar style of player. And, you know, that dream lives on in Moises Caicedo, because honestly, at the moment, I'd say he's our player of the season. The consistency, the importance of the team. In those opening minutes when he had that clash with Jed Spence, I think all of us were literally holding our hearts, praying that nothing had happened to Moises, because if it did, I think all of us felt at the time that our season might be over if he's out of this game. And this really just sums up the importance of Moises Caicedo in this team. So yeah, what an unreal player, what a massive transformation. And honestly, he's on that trajectory right now to be one of the next big things in Europe. You guys know I like to show respect, and for the third thing we learned, Chalobah steps up yet again. And there's a reason why I love having this style of player in my squad. You know what I'm talking about? The homegrown talent, the talent that understands this club inside and out, that's been in its very fibers since he was a kid. The type of guy where whenever he's called upon, you can always trust him. He is always reliable. He always steps up. And that is Chalobah, who I think loves playing against Spurs. We can't forget that super header he scored against them last season under Pochettino. And it's these types of games and moments that he lives for. He gets it. He understands that. And I think from the opening minutes, not even the opening minutes, like the first 15 seconds of the game, he plays an unreal ball over the top, right to find Nico straight away, just kickstarting the mood of the game, the tempo we're going to be playing at. We're not going to be playing slow. When the opportunity arises to play quickly over the top, hey, we're going to catch you out, Spurs. We're in it to win it today. And very unfortunate that Nico hit the post from that moment, but it really sums up exactly the type of energy and mentality that Chalobah brings to these games and how he plays. I mean, yesterday, 4 out of 7 long balls. Like, he was regularly the guy looking to find Nicolas Jackson. And this is what Chalobah does. He's such a versatile player where he's either playing in midfield, he's playing as a right back, he's playing as a centre back in a back 2, in a back 3. And he can do that because he's an all-round, very good football player with the ball at his feet when it comes to carrying, which he demonstrated on 2 occasions in that game yesterday. He can play a pass to split open a defense over the top and around them. And he can play those line breakers. He's very comfortable on the ball. Like, this is a very all-round player that I'd be disappointed if we decided to sell again in this window, because I just love the irony that as he returns back, when we learned originally in the summer that there was no need for him, on his arrival, when your Fofanas are out the team, Maresca's turning towards using Chalobah. He's not using Tolson in a game like this. And I think that completely sums up exactly the quality that Chalobah possesses. And I think he needs to get more respect at this football club, considering all the things he's done for us over the years and the things he will continue to do as long as this club invests and supports in him. I thought it was a superb defensive performance from Chalobah, and this is why I have so much reliability around this guy. But the next thing we learned, Nicolas Jackson makes us fans, but this team, very happy, because there's a big importance he brings to this team, and for me, that is the unpredictable factor. With Nico Jackson, when you have a guy who's willing to run in behind, willing to run in the channels, who can drop deep as well, right to that halfway line, he gives the possibilities for Robert Sanchez to have someone to play long passes to, instead of just regularly playing safe short passes at the back to kickstart new build-up phases. This is the all-round quality that Nico Jackson brings for the team. He doesn't quite have the finishing on point yet consistently. There was a moment, especially as the half was going on, where, it really demonstrated everything great about Nico Jackson. Unrelenting energy and work rate. He's able to put pressure behind on Romero. He wins that ball off him. He's by himself. There's 3 Spurs defenders. He kind of just brings the ball back with his right foot to open his body up for the curler, but the curler just had too much power. It wasn't executed deftly enough, and unfortunately it wasn't even a shot that registered on target. But when I see those moments in particular, it tells me that Nico Jackson can be that type of striker in a few more seasons, not even 1 more season, I think maybe 2 or even 3 more seasons, where he can make those types of special moments happen. But one thing that you can't deny about him is his teamwork and how he makes his team a better team, how he gives us more possibilities. There's a reason why Maresca really loves him. With Maresca saying, with Nico, we are a different team. He's a threat in behind. Off the ball, he is pressing everyone, so we are a different team with Nico. And in last night's performance, after missing him for so long, it clearly demonstrated that little turn in pace that we can have when it comes to breaking teams down. It really demonstrated the different types of attacking possibilities we can create in game when we have a striker of his dimensions up front for us. Levi Colwill said this himself. You saw tonight, Nico, he creates chances out from nothing. That's why he's very much a good player, and that is the case. He's a great player, a very good player. He's not a very great striker just yet, but those moments will come from him, and I think if we get a striker in the summer window, this will be the perfect educational point for Nico Jackson to really elevate his game more, as he has serious competition for the first time after having 2 great years now to really just develop his game and improve as an overall football player. I thought he caused Van der Ven and Romero so many issues, and this is the perfect player to have for the end stage of the season as we mount this fight back now to secure a CL spot. And obviously, to end things, I have to talk about my hermano, man, my capitano in Enzo Fernandez, who is really showcasing this season that he has the potential to be a top-class box-to-box midfield player. And I've been saying this on the channel now since we've signed him. This is his real position. This has always been the way I see us using him. I think there's even more to come from him, considering what he does for the Argentinian national team. But it's been a very consistent, very strong season for Enzo Fernandez. And I think the goal he scored, which we can look at in finer detail, really typifies the improvements he's made for us this season. And those improvements for sure have been his box entries. They have been his late arrivals. It has been his composure with his finishing inside the box, because last season, he found himself in these positions many a time without getting the timing right, without reading the situation ahead of him in the best way, without setting his body up correctly to kind of take these shots off first time. This has been the biggest improvement with Enzo this season. And that goal he scored, we look at it again, a superb cross from Cole Palmer. Nico Jackson, again, very intelligent, just pinning Van der Ven and Romero close to him, occupying that space. And Enzo Fernandez now knows the areas he must target in behinds when he's unmarked inside the box, and it was a cushioned, delicate header. That's all it had to be. And that was enough for us, of course, to win the game. But even before that match-winning moment, he had a moment in the first half where Udogie, great block and defending by him, just about put Enzo off from converting it again. That was clearly a tactical plan from Enzo Maresca to be able to create these types of decoy movements with Nico, to have the late arrivals coming in from the midfield players. Enzo Fernandez is one of my favourite players, I have to say. He led by example, wearing the captain's armbands. It's starting to feel like it's a case of Enzo Fernandez FC, because the club accounts and everyone, there's like a million photos of this guy after every single game. Like, all eyes are constantly on him, and there's a level of intensity, there's a level of responsibility that he plays with when he's entrusted with the armband. And that's a great sign for the future, because he is a player within the dressing room that players do look up towards. At his young age, he's had a lot of responsibility at many clubs he's been at from a leadership point of view. And last night, for the second time in a row, he got the match winner against Spurs to take the game away from them. Great performance from Enzo Fernandez, great from the entire team, and hopefully this moment now pushes us forward to getting Champions League football, because for all the talent we have, players of this level should be playing at the highest level in the best competitions. So that's the 5 things we learned. Let us know your thoughts and opinions, my friends. Get involved in the comment section, and don't forget to show us some love if you're still gassed by last night's win. And if you think we can get CL this season, hit that like button. See you guys in a bit. Cool.